been to a lot of different prayer ministries, healing ministries, and I think the thing that really makes Roots and Branches different is that the desire of people in the prayer room is to help you connect with God directly. That they're not there to be an intermediary, or they're not going to tell you what they're hearing. They're there to help you hear directly. And it's just so simple. You don't have to go through your whole life story or everything in your closet. You can just kind of share what's going on instead of just lecturing somebody or hearing for them. I think a lot of prayer ministries tend to do the hearing for the person. And Roots and Branches just helps people to connect with God directly. It took a little while for me in particular, I think, to start to be able to hear from God. But the team that was in the room with me that day was just really patient and loving and made it really easy to kind of navigate through that process of hearing and figuring out where to go when I would get stuck, or just how to ask occasionally a question to reconnect, to get out of my brain and just connect to God. When I came to Roots and Branches, I was in the middle of a year-long process seeking physical healing, and I didn't get that. But what I started to get was inner healing, to really connect who Jesus was, and to start to understand how much He loved me, and just inner stuff, emotional, spiritual healing. And I came back to the prayer room a second time and got more of that, and still didn't physically get better. It was just as bad. And then Roots and Branches had hosted an event with Jack Deere and Vineyard Northwest, and I went to that just because every experience I'd had with Roots and Branches was so good. There was a lady named Candace there teaching about identity, and the whole thing it really hit me, and it was exactly what I needed to hear. And I went through some prayer through the end of that session, and the next day was totally healed physically. It was pretty wild. I would just tell somebody to show up. It's not hard. It maybe feels intimidating if you've never done it before, or kind of foreign because it's unknown, I think, to a lot of people. But it's really simple. I think for guys in particular, sometimes inner healing or emotional healing doesn't sound like a typical guy thing. But I think if guys would just trust that God is in charge of the process, and if they would be willing to risk it and go do it, I think they would find a lot more, that Jesus just has a lot more for them than they expect. And I want to see more guys do it, because I think if guys would come, if husbands and fathers, if they would come and seek healing, I think we would start to see healthier families, and we would start to see neighborhoods changed even more.